My name is David Dupriest, and I will be giving you your next period of instruction on performance management. At the end of this presentation, you will be able to define performance management, explain performance management, explain the goals, methods, and types of performance management, and describe effective performance management strategies. Performance management is the process of creating a work environment so that employees can perform at the best of their ability in order to meet the standards and goals that the company has set forth. The steps in performance management are to set goals to align with higher level goals. Step 2 is set behavioral expectations and standards and align those with the employee and organizational goals. Step 3 is ongoing performance feedback during the cycle. Step 4 is appraisals of performance done by managers. Step 5 is a formal review process and session conducted by the manager with the employees. And step 6 is HR decision making. Performance management can be used for many different goals. It can be used to transform or optimize the organization. It can be used as corrective action to correct any shortcomings. It can be used to inspire and empower employees. It can be used for organizational effectiveness or to aid in having a higher return on investment. Performance evaluations are a way in which a manager can evaluate or appraise the employee's performance, and it serves as a method to where they can congratulate the employee on a job well done and also deliver feedback on improvements that need to be made and explain exactly why these improvements need to be made. Performance evaluations are usually given on a distinct time frame. It can be given once a year, which is annual, twice a year, which is biannual, or every quarter, which would be every 3 months. Usually this directive is established by the CEO or other C-suite officers or HR. The purpose of performance management is to develop the employees and the workforce so that the organization prospers. It can be used to identify performance, the strengths and the weaknesses, and it can be used as a communication platform to communicate the goals and goal achievements. It can also be used as a way to track training and who needs to be trained, and it can also give feedback to employees on how they're doing with their performance. Performance management can also be used as a way to fulfill administrative needs, such as promotions and compensation, helping with terminations, retentions, layoffs. It can be also used to plan the workforce with HR. It can be used for selection, and it also has legal ramifications. In order for a performance management program to work and be effective, it has to meet certain requirements. It has to be relevant. It also has to be clear and concise. It has to be reliable, and it has to specify exactly what they need. It also has to have equity and acceptability among the employees. In order for an effective performance management program to be within lawful compliance, there are certain requirements that need to be made. The performance management program needs to be job related. It needs to be clear and easy to understand for the employee. The manager has to be able to observe the employee in day-to-day activities. And there can't be any issues that are happening be ignored. You also have to have training for any shortfalls of the employee. HR has to review this and approve it before it is disseminated, and it needs to be open. But also there needs to be an appeal process where an employee, if they feel that they've been wronged through the performance management process, they can have their voice heard as well. There are different methods for employee performance evaluations. A graphics rating scale is where it rates the traits of the employee, such as attendance, their attitude at work, how well they perform their duties and responsibilities. A mixed standard scale is a trait rated scale, but it's based on 3 levels: inferior or below average, average performance, and superior or above average. A forced choice is where a manager has to make a choice between 2 different statements that would describe the employee. One is a wrong statement and one is a right, but the manager does not know. The essay method is where the manager writes statements and it's used to describe the employee's performance based on behavior and actions. The results method is a rating based on results and accomplishments. In order for feedback to be effective, it needs to be fair, supportive, and honest, and also balanced. And you need to minimize your criticism and use a format that you deliver good news first, then talk about their insufficiencies, and then go back to a good note to leave on. There are different types of feedback. One is a tell and sell. That's where the employee and the manager sit down and they discuss a problem, and the manager gives the employee a method to solve that issue. The tell and listen is where the manager and the employee sit down and the manager tells the employee about a problem and guides him to figure out his own way of solving the issue. And the problem solving method is where the manager and the employee both try to come up with a viable solution together. Also, follow up. Any appraisal needs to be followed up within a set amount of time. A majority of the time, the manager or the supervisor will be responsible for conducting the evaluation and giving the feedback to the employee. But there are also other types of evaluations and feedback. It can come from subordinates, which is people that work below you. It can come from your peers, which are people at the same level. It can come from a team of employees. It can come from the customer. There are also self-evaluations where the employee evaluates their own performance. And then there's a method called 360-degree feedback, which comes from all directions, from above, below, and peer. Ineffective performance management can come from a variety of reasons. It could be a lack of understanding on the goals or the feedback. It could be that the standards are not clear or they're set too high. It could also be because the manager or supervisor chooses to rate the personality of the person over how well they perform their job. It could be a lack of support from the management and the peers, or it could be a lack of training. The company could have not given the proper training to the employee to do the job correctly.